This episode of Baby, This is Keke Palmer is sponsored by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Now let's get this show on the road.
I'm an actress, and I'm a damn good actress at that. Girl, and I'm a man-eater. A man-eater, a man-hater. Okay? 5 or 6 people were there waiting to judge you, getting in the car, changing for the next audition. I mean, the hustle was real.
When he killed your damn dog, I was done, Frankie. Damn it, Frank. That movie.
Oh, my God, Vivica Fox. Sharon. What was the best set?
The best set, the one you had the most fun.
I've done 237 films, baby.
Hey, Sharon.
Hello, how are you?
I'm pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm good. I got up, took me a nice little shower, and combed out my little Larry wig. I'm good.
Well, I'm excited today because we get to talk to one of our favorite folks. I mean, we always been a big fan of Vivica Fox.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I've been watching her since I was a kid, Set It Off, Two Could Play That Game. She did Empire. I mean, she just has such a long career, and we've seen her change in time.
Yes.
And so I'm excited to talk to her because that's what I wanted the conversation to be about, like success, the journey of success, but then also how your idea of success changes as you age and the opportunities and the things that you want, how you kind of maintain your balance throughout the ebbs and flows of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, within your 21-year career, this is your 21st year. That 1 year you did 4 movies, and then 1 year you only did 1, and then 1 year you didn't do any movies. So how does that affect your self-esteem?
Yeah, and then also how the industry changes. I think that's a really cool thing to talk to her about and that I've experienced myself, because when I came into the industry, it was a totally complete system than the one that we have today. Yes. And in terms of how people look at celebrity, the way they did back then has also changed. So not only did the industry change, but society at large change. And so much of our personal life also started to inform our careers, which is interesting.
Yeah, now what I admire about Vivica is she embraced digital. I remember having a meeting with an agency. I won't name the agency. And I remember telling them, everything is going digital, guys.
Yeah.
We need to start. And they just looked at me like I was crazy. And I remember having and I don't think that I'm this visionary person, but I do think I pay attention. And I was talking to younger people, and they were telling me, Ms. Palmer, everything's going digital. You got to make sure Keke has all her sites because that's where it's going. And so I was so excited that these young people were talking to me. I started telling the agents. I remember telling the publicists at the time. I was like, hey, guys. And they all looked at me like I was crazy.
Well, I mean, they didn't get it. And I think that's the cool thing about you that I've always loved. And I think Vivica's a similar way. And I feel like I'm that way too, whereas even as I get older, I'm not allowing that to stop me from being up with the times. Like, it doesn't mean I'm trying to be Gen Alpha or Gen Z, even though I'm kind of like on the edge of Gen Z and millennial. My point is that I'm making, and I think it's the same for you, is that even though you're a Gen Xer, you exist in your wisdom and your experience, but you're also still maintaining your understanding of the times, whether it be digital or just the conversations. I mean, you'll look at me and say, period poo. And I'm like, how do you know what period poo is? You know what I mean? Like, you're able to still transform.
I think that's because I'm just a ferocious learner. I wouldn't say I'm a ferocious reader. Because I only read things that I really, really have to. But I am curious about some things. But at the end of the day, I'm just always listening. And especially I listen to the young people because you guys are on it.
I feel like some things are attributes of your age, right? So I think like a personality trait that I think is normal for a young person to have is I'm ready and I'm open to whatever is new. I'm here and like whatever that's coming, I'm going to always give it a try. I'm open. And I think it's interesting because something that happens as we all age is we all start to become a little bit stuck in our ways. And I've even started to see that. I had a conversation with my best friend not too long ago, Nora, where I was talking to her about how I can start to feel within the millennial generation as we start to become the older ones, us showcasing some of that being stuck in our ways. Well, I'm not going to do another app. Okay. I do YouTube, I do Twitter, I do Instagram. I'm not doing TikTok because that's for the kids. And it's like I can already see, oh my gosh. So were millennials really this just open on the cuff generation, or were we just young? And are we now slipping into some of the same habits that we've judged the older generations for? Like we are doing our own version of being stuck in our ways.
Well, that's a good point, and that's a question for you. Do you think you're too old to do the TikTok, or like what are your social media, norms that you think, well, this is acceptable for a 30-year-old?
It's so cool. I think I don't think that there's a too old for any of the apps or any of the things. I think it's always the perspective. What is your perspective that you're bringing to it? I do TikTok and I like it. I actually did it more when it was Musically. But as it became TikTok that we know today, I personally have not always been a big fan of the platform, meaning literally their layout. I'm really big on, layouts. I mean, I think when you look at iPhone versus like BlackBerry or any of the other phones that we had before then, the reason why the iPhone was more popular was because people started to really become comfortable with that layout, with the format. It was easy. It was super instinctual. So I think for me, going to a technical place for it, I've always felt like Twitter and Instagram were my more preferred layouts. And I like YouTube too a bit, you know what I mean? But Instagram was my favorite and it still remains my favorite. And TikTok, it just all feels very in your face. There's no pulling out. There's no observational view. It's just swiping.
Right. And what was it about MySpace? Because I remember when you contacted, you actually reached out to Tom. He responded.
Oh my gosh, I wanted to get Tom on the show. Girl, Tom said, I'm sorry, Keke. He's like, I really love you, but I don't talk to people. And I'm like, Tom, you really actually don't. Because all we've ever known of you is this. That is literally all we've ever known of Tom. That's like one picture that we have of Tom.
So he actually talked to you. He just wouldn't come on and talk to you.
Oh, yeah. We had like a conversation. And so he was telling me that for him, MySpace was this thought that he had in his mind. Once people can see other people's spaces, it's going to be really healing to the world. They're going to be able to experience other people's cultures, other people's views. They're going to be able to have the opportunity to kind of like connect in ways that they couldn't have before, which was 100% true. But what he was saying on the other end of that was that he did not foresee the algorithm. He said the algorithm, the AI, the systems that all these things work, they are responsive to us and what we click and what we engage in. And the most engaging things are always negative. And so it's gotten to a point where it gets ahead of us, where we would have to have extreme self-control in terms of what we clicked on and what we pushed. Because when we don't, the algorithm creates an environment that makes us believe that what we're seeing is all there is. And that can be positive or that can be dangerous, which we've seen. So it takes a lot of like personal accountability to be aware of that online all the time. And it's still such a new thing that I don't think people always are. And so in terms of his industry, it was so interesting because it changed so much in that regard that it kind of like made him not even really want to be a part of it. And he said, but I still always have this place in my heart for it because, Keke, you and I couldn't have had this conversation in the grocery store. We could have only had it online. Wow. And I'm like, that is so true. And that's why I've always loved the internet. And I think, Mom, even before like the industry and stuff, you also always did. Because you had that one friend, Styles, who's pretty much like an aunt to me now, that you met on like AOL chat.
I did, yeah. You know what? I wanted to find other like-minded female writers. Like I was surrounded by male writers, and I just started chatting with this lady named. She called herself Styles. I later found out her name was Stanicia Pate. She was from Brooklyn, New York, and she and I formed a bond online. Just from online. Then we started talking, and I talked to her for about 2 years, and then when I finally met her. It was weird, but it was so like I knew her, like when we met, I was like, oh, that's what you look like. And she's like, oh, that's what you look like. And then we just like started chatting it up like, girl, let me tell you. And I just found out about her and she's one of my best friends to this day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And it
yeah,
was
that's
that's
the
why it was
power.
so interesting to me how you and dad would always think it was so weird for me to make friends on MySpace and Facebook and meet them in real life. Like, but it was like you been doing that. You was on some bringing down the house, Queen Latifah, Steve Martin way back when. So
Yeah,
that
but I
was
guess
always crazy.
parents always think, and probably we think incorrectly, but we always think we can handle ourselves. Like I felt like I was talking to a lady from Brooklyn. She was a similar age. I think I'm a couple of years older than her. She had a child. I had 2 kids. She was, we had a similar background. So I was like, "Shit, I could beat her ass. If she show up and
Now
act
Sharon.
crazy, I
Now
can
Sharon.
beat her. We can fight. We can battle. But it's like you guys were talking to people you don't even know who you're talking to.
Mom, yes and no, but I digress. When you were younger in your 20s, what did you envision for your life at 57? I know that was
Ooh,
really a
Lord.
stark, deep turn.
Um, when I was in my early 20s, I was in poverty, meaning I did not have a lot of stuff, but I dreamed a lot. I was the person that would be riding the bus to work, looking out the window, just knowing there was something better for me and missing my stop. Like, oh, I missed my bus stop because I was I daydreamed a lot. And I could all go off into my daydream. And I remember one time, um, L'Oreal was watching television. L'Oreal's my oldest daughter, and she was watching TV. She loved Teenage Mutant Ninja
She
Turtles,
sure did.
and I would put her in front of the television. I'd make her a little peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And let's say it was like maybe 10 in the morning, and then I would go and write music because I was a songwriter. And I tell you, one time I put her in front of the television and I came back, it was like 8 hours later. And she was asleep in the floor. And I said, I gotta change. This is not gonna work. It's not gonna work. That's a child abuse, and that gets me right now. And I knew my life needed to change. So I started going to church. I started getting more focused and realizing my first priority was to be a mother.
What you're saying is something that so many people struggle with. I mean, parents in general, but really moms. There's so much mom guilt when it comes to
Absolutely.
being a working mom.
Yeah.
And so you speaking to that and having this moment where you kind of said, for me, I thought it was the most responsible thing to do to put my dreams to rest. I think anybody is wondering, how do you determine that?
I think it's hard. There's no absolute answer for this. But I just think I was tired I didn't want to be selfish anymore. I felt I was selfish. No one came to me and said, "You're selfish." I just felt like this is not working. You're being a little too selfish. It's time to focus on your kids. It's time to focus on your family. So it wasn't like I changed my life and totally abandoned music. It was just I changed my life, still love music, but I just didn't look at it as a way of getting out of the hood. A lot of people look at I'm gonna be a recording artist and I'm gonna get out of the hood. I'm gonna buy my mother a house. I mean, I had the same thing. And at some point, it's like, okay, I got to let go of that dream of buying my mother a house because guess what? Now I'm a mother. So there you go.
But it's always also something that I think about because I'm somebody that has totally dedicated my life to my dreams, and my dreams have also provided not just great life for me, but a great life for my family, for my extended family, and for my immediate family of me and Leo. But I also struggle with those thoughts of like, should I just be a stay-at-home mom? Should I just stop doing everything and focus on, because those, again, mom guilt and grappling with what is selfish and what is not as it pertains to you going for personal goals and having, really, those special, unforgettable, one-time opportunity chances with your little one. It's something that I also think about. So when I'm hearing you say it, I'm being reflective on my own self in terms of what is important to me, what is actually being what does all that mean?
You know what? I wasn't successful. Again, you have to answer those questions for yourself. But for me, if I was successful and I had a career and I was doing as well as you, I would not have stopped.
It's just interesting because these are the questions when you think of success and time and things that you're never going to get a second chance to do again, which are both things, which is why some people don't want to get married and some people don't want to have kids, or why some people do. You know what I mean? Those are the things. So I'm very excited to see what Vivica has to say about this. This was such a good convo, Mom.
Awesome.
Some think that to be the best, you have to focus on one thing. That you can either be a singer or an actor, a podcaster or a TV show host. But anyone who has ever listened to this show knows that the best, oh baby, the best are giving everything. Myself included. And you know who else is giving you everything? That's our sponsor, BMW. BMW gives you power and control, style and confidence, luxury and speed. I mean, as long as I can remember, when I think about a car that screams luxury and cool, casual elegance, I'm thinking about a BMW. I mean, they're just so beautiful. But what good is style without substance? You know what I mean? I want a car that not only looks good, but really delivers from its features, from wireless phone charging to the absolutely massive curved display that'll keep you on track and entertained throughout your trip. There are so many things to love about a BMW beyond just how gorgeous it is. Whether it's power and luxury or capability and control, BMW has the ultimate vehicle just for you. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Baby, this is Keke.
Guys, I am so excited to pick my guest brain today. She is a producer, a director, an actor, writer. She has truly done it all. Now, you may know her from her work in Soul Food, Kill Bill, Two Can Play That Game, one of my favorites, or even as my mom on True Jackson VP. Y'all, it is the Vivica A. Fox. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, girl, hey.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad to chat with you. But the first thing I want to ask you about, obviously, is how you feeling about your new movie, Not Another Church Movie. Hilarious. It just came out. How was it filming that, and how does it feel to be able to share it with everybody now?
Well, to be honest with you, I was glad that I was able to do some comedy. I've been doing a lot of drama as far as acting lately. I directed a film, First Lady of BMF. Got nominated for a couple of Image Awards with my directorial debut. So that
Congrats
was
on
awesome. And so when this came my way, it's a spoof of a lot of the Tyler Perry and African-American films that are classics. Special shout out to Tyler. We wanted to make sure that we let him know that this wasn't a diss film, that this was a comedy, basically saluting him and the amazing empire that he's built. So anyway, I play Judge L'Oreal, and I'm spoofing Judge Maybelline.
Ooh!
Girl, and I'm a man eater, a man hater. Okay?
I love that so much. And I love spoof films. I mean, I grew up loving the Wayans brothers with Don't Be a Menace, South Central, Rodrigo Juice in the Hood, Hollywood Shuffle. I know you was in that. And it's so crazy because what I want to talk to you about today is just success and how it changes over time. But even more importantly, the industry. The industry has changed. It's constantly changing. And you've spoken to that in interviews as well over your time and your success. And even for me, going from being a kid actor just to becoming an adult in the industry, it changed from not having digital to being able to do digital. The whole celebrity culture and how it also impacts our professional, traditional careers. So there's so much I want to talk to you on that. But I want to start at the beginning. Now, the first time I saw you was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But were you acting before? Was that like your first gig? Where was that in your career?
That was actually midway. To be honest with you, I started on soaps, Days of Our Lives. Yeah, and I actually, before that, did a little bit of theater here in Los Angeles at the Taper 2 Theater. I did a little bit of theater, and then I got Days of Our Lives. And then from Days of Our Lives, I got China Beach. And then I kind of started doing episodic TV. And I was the one that was coming in there and because I started in soaps stealing everyone's parts because I was really
know
good
that's
with
right.
lines. I had a
And
wonderful
gorgeous. Always been bad.
Thank
Okay.
you. And then I had a
Yes.
wonderful acting coach by the name of Sheila Wills, who I met when I did Generations. Oh my God, I forgot about Generations. Yeah. So I did the first fully into girl. It's been a minute, okay?
You are so funny.
Yeah. And then Generations, that really, really helped me out a lot. I got Days of Our Lives, then I did China Beach, and then I got Generations. And on Generations is where I then met my acting coach by the name of Sheila Wills. And Sheila was the first actress to honestly ever come to me and was like, let me run lines with you, baby, because you're missing some moments.
I love that though.
I do
And it's
too.
so funny that you said that about yourself because that was kind of your vibe. When I worked with you on True Jackson VP, you were very much coming to the wings and let me tell you a few things and let me put you up on game. And I always loved that and would tell people that story of that time that I had with you because you were kind of somebody that didn't treat me like a baby. You really spoke to me as a young woman, and I really, really appreciated that. And I had so much fun with you on that show. So it's cool to hear you talking that about Sheila, because that you then are the same person to so many others. So what was your idea of entertainment at that time? What tell me what the landscape was. Was it simply get an agent, go on an audition? Was it a little bit of who you know? How did people go about getting parts?
Girl, I remember I used to have 4, 5 auditions in a day, changing in my car, changing makeup, outfits in the back seat. I mean, the hustle was real. These children got it easy nowadays that they can just send in a tape, sit at home and make sure you get it right. Girl, I can remember walking into rooms and 5 or 6 people were there waiting to judge you, you know, whether you had it or you didn't.
Wow.
Then leaving, getting in the car, changing for the next audition. I mean, the hustle was real.
And were the parts, like, would they say for a black actress? Because that's always a thing, too. Like, were you auditioning? Wow, okay, so that's dope. Because I feel like a lot of times now, there is never necessarily, because I think of, for political reasons, but also, you know what I mean, where people don't really say that. But I remember growing up, it would say little black girl. Now a lot of that's changed.
Well, because they have to include everyone, you know?
Yeah.
And not say that they discriminated. So I miss those days.
Well, because I do miss an element of that because it would at least let you know if you had a chance.
Okay.
Now, you end up going on auditions or putting yourself on tape for stuff that they just know that they're not looking for you for. And it's like, if you're not looking for me, that's fine. But don't make me learn the lines and do all the things and do the whole dance if you know I'm not the vibe of the character.
That I'm not even in the running. Yeah. Because, you know, I can remember I would put so much effort in getting ready for an audition, from the clothes to the makeup to the whole shebang. And I remember it being really disappointing when you wouldn't get it, but at least you would know you lost it to Jasmine Guy. You lost it to Halle Berry. You lost it to...
Yeah, like when you look up that, it's like I lost it to Jennifer Aniston. Well, I wasn't even almost the vibe of the girl. You know, that doesn't really add up.
At all. Yeah.
What role was it that you did that really started people saying, Vivica Fox?
Believe it or not, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. When I played The Date from Hell with Will.
Oh my gosh, I love
everybody
that
was
episode.
like, yo, girlfriend kind of got something. And then what really propelled me, 2 roles. Independence Day with Will, again.
Period.
And then Set It Off with Frankie. Frankie,
Girl,
I got my street
what's
cred.
the procedure when you got a gun to your head? Girl, your ability to be both hilarious and also an incredible dramatic actress, literally that can bring chills. You know what I'm saying? And tears. That was like such a big moment in that movie. Like, you have such a great range that we've always loved to see, from Two Can Play That Game. Yeah. Soul Food, one of my all-time favorites. Again, a range of emotions. You're giving us sass and attitude and hilarity, and then it's like, girl, come on, we can't do this, Big Mama. Like, he was just giving us.
And then I was a mom. I was a mom too.
And such a cute mom,
I
too.
carried you for 9 months. Wipe your little ding-a-ling while you pee-peed in my face.
Yeah.
So mama knows.
Girl, and Ahmad just wanted to get the family back together. Like, Ahmad just wanted to get the family back together. So in that time in your career, obviously the industry is probably still somewhat the same.
Yes.
But your success and your star is rising. How did that impact the way you was able to move in the industry? Was there a moment in time where it's like they're just calling you saying, hey, it's you, Vivica, we want you for the role? Or was it still the auditioning process?
No, I didn't have to audition anymore, and I was grateful for that.
I know that's
that
right.
literally offers started coming in, and I did like 5 blockbusters back to back to back from Independence Day, Set It Off, Soul Food, Why Do Fools Fall in Love. And I did a little booty call up in there too. Okay.
Why Do Fools Fall in Love? You can't bring that up. That movie I loved so bad as a kid. First of all, when he killed your damn dog, I was done. Frankie, damn it, Frank. That movie,
That
is
scene.
Girl, that movie is so damn good. And I was so happy that you got the money at the end because I'm like, she was my favorite girl. But obviously, I'm such a huge fan. You've always been my favorite girl. And it's because of the realism that you brought to these characters. The performance was always so authentic.
Thank you. I didn't mind doing the work. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Like, I was always taught, do the work.
Yeah.
Don't just show up and be cute, And I honestly did films with very beautiful women that I didn't mind playing the ugly part so that I could do the work, so that they got past the look.
It's so interesting to even hear you say something like that because for me, you've always been a sex symbol. And I mean, maybe that there's been eras. The industry is so interesting. They pick and they choose and they decide, it goes on with the wind. But for me growing up, you know what I mean? They always change their mind and then change it back. It's not reality. I think reality for me, culturally, generationally, we always look to Vivica Fox. You've always been a sex symbol. And I felt like it showed in a lot of your roles. Even when we think about like Tuka Play That Game, it was like she's that girl. Were you thinking about branding with your parts, or was it really truly just about character for you?
Character. You Can Play That Game, I turned the movie down 3 times, to be honest.
Why? You didn't like the fourth wall break?
Atrocious. The script was awful. And the director, it was just because he was so in love with, because he wrote it, Mark Brown. He was so in love with the character Shantae that he wanted her to win all the time. And I said, sweetheart, this has to be a battle of the sexes. She got to get her face cracked. He got to get his face cracked. It has to be a battle of the sexes. So originally, I didn't like the way Morris's character was written. I was just punking him out. And I was like, they're going to hate me. And then the way I was talking to the audience when I did break the fourth wall, I said, they're going to throw their shoe at me. They're going to, because you know how black films are. They'd be like, oh, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. And so I knew that. And I was grateful to Clint Culpepper of Screen.
Oh, shout out to Clint.
Yeah, I love Clint, Sony Screen Gems, that he told me to watch the film Ferris Bueller's Day Off because I didn't get the fourth wall thing. Movie. And when he told me when I went, and I loved the film Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Amazing.
And I got it. But I said, we got to add some more elements in here that the journey with both characters, because people love Morris, and I still love him, he's awesome, that you'll see the battle of the sexes. And then with the friends, I was heavily involved with making sure that the representations of
Were you already producing at that time, or was this movie?
I should have got a production.
Because I'm like, this is producing. Hearing you talk about that is literally all. I mean, you pretty much produced the whole damn thing. After this movie, did you say, hey, damn, I need to start producing? Or was that something that came later on?
Special shout out to Lita Richardson, my business partner. She said, baby, you ain't greenlighting another film without getting a producer credit.
For real?
And I was like, you're giving me another job? And she says, you're doing it already. Let's get another check.
Now, at that time, was that happening a lot? Because I do feel like that's something that I started to see as I grew up, that more people were talking about produce your own project. Like, it was something that we saw comedians do. Like, okay, Monique was doing her, or DL Hugh. Like, comedians were doing their own tapes and direct-to-consumer stuff. But was that a common thing for actors to say, hey, I'm going to put a project together? I mean, maybe Will was doing it. I'm not sure.
We didn't know. And if you don't ask for it, you won't get it, even though you do it.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. So that was the first door opening for me, that it was like, wait a minute, I'm helping co-write, produce. I was bringing in wardrobe child. I was doing everything. But at the time, for me, it was like, oh my God, I'm starring in a movie. So I was honored. But I was glad I had a businesswoman there to go, no, you must learn the business side of showbiz.
Yeah. At what point, in your career did you realize the industry was changing and that you were going to have to shift with it?
Well, for myself, I would say that when people got more caught up on,
Celebrity lifestyle?
yes,
Yes, I had a feeling that you were going to say that because that
yeah,
it was a big shift for me.
yes,
Seeing when social media and just, I mean, like obviously celebrity culture, it was building. I don't even know when I would say like early 2000s.
yeah.
That's when everything started really becoming. How did you feel that, okay, who I am in my personality and my love life affected or impacted your professional work?
With social media and magazines and everything, that everybody forgot I'm an
Yeah.
actress, and I'm a damn good actress at that. So it was
Yes.
then, when I wasn't the young ingenue anymore and they got caught up on that, that I left. I did. I went
Really?
back to theater. Yes, I did. And then also I was too young to play the older parts, or I looked too young to play the older parts, even though I was older. And I said, you know what? I got to go and reintroduce myself to my audience. And I did. I went to the theater and I was on the road for like maybe almost 2 years. And then I was also thinking of quitting show business and becoming a sportscaster. I was ready to move to Miami. And I don't know if you know that about me. I'm a sports junkie.
And so wait a minute, was that kind of like, because obviously I know you're a Leo, y'all can be stubborn. Was that was that a little bit of that being your resistance to this new school game of my personality, lifestyle, and the character that I give you in my celebrity lifestyle being such a necessary or assumed necessary piece to validate my profession? Were you kind of like, no, I'm not going to play that game?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. It was challenging because I wasn't
Yeah.
making the money that I was used to making. The roles change. But I said, I'll start over. I'll figure this out.
What was the conversation amongst your peers? Because I mean, everybody was. I mean, that you weren't the only one experiencing that. Everybody's experiencing that. So, what would you be thinking? Would they lean in, or would they kind of have that same vibe that you had?
Child, they was glad that I was kind of moving away so they could get my roles.
Now I know that. Now I know it. You ain't have to tell the truth like that.
You know I'm gonna keep it real. Shoot,
Okay.
all times. All times. They was like, oh, good, you're leaving. Bye.
Wow, but that's real because our industry is quite competitive.
Yes,
So,
it is.
100%, I'm sure that
But
was the
can I
vibe.
tell you, baby girl, it paid off, because sometimes you want to close the door and God will let you take a time out. But when he came back and reopened the door, it's been like 10, 15 years of growth. They teased me when I went to Lifetime. Oh my God, now she's doing Lifetime. They teased me when I started doing my hairline. Oh my God, now she's selling wigs. And now I've been selling wigs for 16 years with the Vivica
That's such
Fox
a
Hair
blessing.
Collection. I've produced and starred in over 50 films for Lifetime, and now I'm a director. So I didn't even see this chapter, but I took the risk of walking away to try something new.
I didn't see the chapters for myself either because I created a brand as a kid, and then that
Yes,
brand completely collapsed when I became an adult. Because
exactly.
who the hell are you? We don't
Hmm.
know you if you're not a little girl anymore. And then
Right.
the industry had changed. A lot of people were doing digital, and I felt like, well, I'm traditional,
Yes.
but there's an opportunity here with digital. There's an opportunity that's not there in traditional. And so similarly to, I also went to stage. I also did Cinderella on Broadway, but
Oh,
I
you
went where the
should.
opportunity was. Yep, I did that because I'm like,
Yes.
this is who's giving me an opportunity.
Yes.
Same thing with creating online, collaborating with other people, learning how to produce and create my own content.
Yeah.
And then it's like you said, all of a sudden no one remembers, or it's this second win, or that you've arrived at this new era that you
Yes.
really didn't even prepare for. Like when you think about the beginning years, when we're talking about Independence Day,
Yes.
talking about Two Can Play That Game, what was success to you then and what is it to you now?
Well, to be honest with you, I was on the treadmill of success, and I didn't even take the time to smell the roses. It was just picture after picture after picture, that now I appreciate so much more. Like, I appreciate my beautiful home. I appreciate
Amen.
that I'm able to spend time with my family and do family vacations. Whereas before, I was just, what's the next hit? What's the next hit? What's the next hit? Girl, I remember building homes and living in them and didn't even swim in the pool.
Wow.
Okay? Or sit in the backyard and drink my coffee and go, look at you from Angie Fox from Indianapolis, Indiana. Look at you now. Whereas now, I take the time to take the moments to smell the roses and look at the view and hug my family and hug my god babies and enjoy life. I've learned balance. I've learned to be comfortable in my own skin. I've learned that it's okay that folks ain't talking about me every day. I enjoy my peace. I enjoy my privacy, you know?
What would you say, to someone on that treadmill of success? Because it always feels like, we have to work so hard. And everybody always says, sleep when you're dead or you'll have time. And you know what I mean? Seriously, everybody always wants you to feel like you're running out of time when it comes to success. And,
Agreed.
being when you're in your 20s, that's when you got to really push it to the brink. And then honestly, the truth is, you see so many people that are successful and they were doing all these amazing things early on. So that puts even more pressure on you to meet that deadline. What do you say?
Learn balance. Please get good people in your life. Please don't listen to everything that's on social media. Please take the time to take vacations. Please know that it's okay to say no. You don't have to do everything. Have a career, not moments. A career is built, as we've seen, from going to young adult to woman. I'm in a chapter of my career of completely building the Vivica Fox enterprise that does movies, beauty, fashion. That's a career. Moments is when you the hot chick that everybody's talking about, and 5 years later, we don't know where you are.
Baby, this is Keke Palmer, yeah.
What's the best way to describe imagination? To me, it's like watching a movie in my head. A movie I created and cast. Like, maybe in this movie, okay, follow along with me. I'm a queer college student at a New England liberal arts school who discovers a body in the woods and tries to crack the case, all while experiencing a healthy dose of college debauchery. And of course, y'all may be asking, Keke, why are you imagining this oddly specific scenario? Well, it's because that's the plot of the Audible original title I was just listening to. It's called The Groves. And some of the narrators include friends of mine, like Jerry Johnson and Renee Rapp. Y'all have to listen along for their electric performances. But what I'm saying is, Audible is the place to take your imagination to the next level. Their listening experiences make you feel like you're living in the story. And what you want that story to be, well, that's up to you. Audible has thousands of titles in every genre, including bestsellers and new releases, celebrity memoirs, mysteries, and thrillers, motivation, wellness, business, and more. So the next time you're commuting to work, taking a walk, or just relaxing, escape to another world. Just find your title of choice on the Audible app and dive into captivating stories, inspiration, and dynamic performances. As an Audible member, you get one bestseller or new release every month to keep from their entire selection. There's more to imagine when you listen. Try Audible today, and your first audiobook is free at audible.com/Keke. That's audible.com/KEKE. Y'all know that I come from a family that likes to work hard. My parents instilled in me that working hard builds character, and I take pride in that. But y'all also know that sometimes even a Virgo queen needs to prioritize rest and relaxation. I use Airbnb all the time, whether it's with my girlfriends or for a trip with a lover. And you cannot beat the space and the locations that you can get with Airbnb. My favorite Airbnb of all time was one of those bubble houses tucked away in the Joshua Tree Desert with the most delicious outdoor jacuzzi situation. Oh, imagine the most private and posh human-sized fishbowl you've ever seen in your life. It was the perfect combination of luxury and quirkiness with the added bonus of the most amazing views. Your girl loves the finer things in life, but make no mistake, I'm also a Midwestern girl, so I love a little indoor-outdoor moment. Getting a chance to sit back and soak in my own literal bubble while surrounded by the majesty of nature. Hotels just can't keep up. Listen, y'all, I am an Airbnb fan through and through, and I've had so many memorable experiences with my friends and family, and I can't wait to share more of them with y'all this summer. Your book is called Every Day I'm Hustling. And so I feel like I can personally relate to that, but I mean, how did you handle when things didn't go as planned?
Accountability.
Let's talk about
Accountability is a beautiful thing that I had to learn. Why did that phone stop ringing? Did I choose projects that I shouldn't have been involved in? Did I make choices that weren't good choices? So let's go back to the drawing board. Let's start over again.
So let's look at that. I love what you said about accountability because, I mean, that is a big thing for us as actors.
Yes.
What role we chose.
Yes.
You know, should I have taken, I remember I had a conversation with Eddie Murphy and he was saying how I was offered Who Framed Roger Rabbit and I wasn't sure if I should do it or not. And I look back and I'm like, damn, I would have loved to have done that. Or they talk about Will Smith with Django Unchained. When you look at some of those moments where you had to have accountability, what roles? Were there roles that you said no to that you wish you had taken? Was there attitude or air or energy you had on the set where you felt like, dang, maybe people don't want to work with me? What do you mean by that accountability?
I definitely went through an era feeling myself.
Wow.
Absolutely. Totally was caught up. Oh my God, Vivica Fox. Child. What? You bet not. And I'm doing this, that, and the third. I'm setting it off. Get away from me. Whereas now I show up with an attitude of gratitude. I learned that I am a role model for young ladies, that I have to be professional, that I got to be on time, that if I want to go into other chapters of my life, being a director, putting out books, having blessings that I would have never thought I would have ever seen, being a spokeswoman, that comes with responsibility. And you need people to count on you. So, but yeah, no, there was an era, child. I was feeling myself. It happens.
But I do think everybody has an opportunity when they feel themselves just a little bit. I feel like sometimes they're harder on the girls than they are on the guys when that happens.
Of course, you already know.
Girl, that kills me.
No, but that's like with everything, it's double standards. I mean, thank God a lot of those double standards have changed because we're in more power positions.
They are a little bit, you know what I mean? But it's always a thing.
Yeah.
Now, when you think about hustling, what does that mean for you? Does it mean I'm networking, or am I practicing my lines? Am I like, how much of that is what's the word I'm looking for? Like, how much of that hustling that you say is you creating something out of nothing?
Oh, absolutely. Please. Are you kidding? That's why I do independent films. Independent films lead to roles that Hollywood would never give me. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like for me, like when I was getting teased about my little Lifetime movies, which then led to all kind of doors opening up for me and being called the Queen of Lifetime, that I could cast myself in roles that Hollywood wouldn't give me, playing the detective, playing the mom. They would never let me play the villain in the movie. I always had to be the hero, though.
Which is crazy because I feel like you always be an incredible villain. Oh my gosh, you would be an insanely good villain. Because you have that humor and that drama.
Yes, I would love that. But I got to play roles that then others saw me, that then... I got to play them then in other films. I'm grateful to Tressa Smallwood of Megamind Media that she turned me into a director. I never saw that for me, and I loved it. I can't wait to direct more.
Shout outs to her. Yeah, you definitely got to let me know because I know you're an amazing director. Just all the information that you have as an actor as well. I love working with directors that also are actors because the way that they can look at character and just really pull stuff out, it's on another level.
And they could let I find the actor's director will let the actor play a little bit more.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Because they know what that feels like. Like, don't just cut me off at the neck. Damn, give me a little chance to breathe. You might find something you like.
That part.
I want to ask you, what do you want your brand, your legacy to be? And how has it changed over time?
Wow. That's a great question. My legacy has definitely changed over time. As you said, I came in, I was the hot piece, the girl, Vivica Fox, sex symbol, this and the third. Then it changed into wonderful actress, bankable at box office. And then for some reason, it turned into Auntie Vivica. So I don't know if that was just because of the gossip or what the hell was going on, okay? But now what they call me, and it warms my heart. When they walk up to me now and they say, legend.
Yeah, girl. That's facts.
Yeah, but
That's
you know
facts.
how we've been doing this for such a long time? You forget. You live in your own skin and time passes. But it really warms my heart now when they come up and they're like, legend. I watched this and it did this for me. I watched that and how my different projects moved them or caught them at different times of
Girl,
their
and a black
lives.
woman in action. Like, let's be real on that. That's something that's important. Seeing you in movies like Independence Day, seeing you in Set It Off, seeing you do Kill the freaking Bill. There's, what I mean? And a black woman, for real. You know what I mean? I know, it's no tea, no shade, but it's like representation is important. It's important to see someone that looks like you on screen. And for me growing up, that's a big part of why I felt I could do what I could do and why I wanted to do movies like Took a Place. We all wanted to be Shantae. Okay? But like you said, it was dope because the character still felt real.
Yes.
Because she still had vulnerability, and we've seen those moments where it's like, okay, man, she knows she's not a complete cold hard ass, which is also important in representation of black women, right?
Agreed,
We're always
agreed.
so strong, and we are cracking the back, and we can do X, Y, and Z, and it's like, But you were like, no,
I'm hurt
he didn't
today.
answer? Yeah.
Yes.
Giving that range, and not just being the vixen, but being a person. So all of that is absolutely important. But legend, for the legacy to be legend, it is and 100% what it is. I couldn't agree more.
Thank you, baby.
What would you say, or what would be your piece of advice in terms of maturing in the public eye and people seeing you go through all these many different stages and them responding to you differently at each stage?
I would say especially now, everybody wants to swipe to success. And as I said a little bit earlier, a career is built. Having a moment is a moment. Trust me, baby. In the next 5 minutes, they're going to be looking for another moment. We're in a business that moves quick, the demand. And also, things change. I can remember when I first started, to be on a soap was all that in a bag of chips. Mm-hmm. Then the next chapter was being a movie star. Now, this chapter I'm in, it's directing, building the brand. It's a career. Yeah. And I've always studied those who are winners. I'm not a hater, I'm a congratulator. And I study winners, and I want to win. And I want next generation to win too. But I just feel like they don't want to do the work. Mm-hmm. Everybody just wants to go on TikTok and get likes.
Yeah.
A true career is built.
Yeah. But I do think that there's this element that is, I don't want to say it's just based off of age. I'm going to say that it's like cultural. It's the zeitgeist. That is because of social media, where everybody kind of feels like everything happens fast. And you're also never always going to be hot. I need people to get that one for real.
Okay.
This whole idea that, you're always going to be the main thing, the main event. Guys, everybody stops being the main event at some point. They just do. No, it just can't last. But, I think it's funny because when you're coming up in something and we all been in our early 20s, everything does feel like it's going to last for me. Mm-hmm. Everything feels like, oh, baby, that's just you. But something happens, which is life.
Yes.
And your experiences, and then the world changes, because it ain't just you that change. You change, the world changed, the circumstance changed.
Your body changes.
Your body
mind changes.
Man,
okay.
All of that. And there's really no good or bad. It's all for the better, I would like to say. But those adjustments, I find it to be unique with the whole social media and the fame and all that stuff. But I guess we'll continue to see how that explodes from years from now, to see how that impacts our future of entertainers,
Like I said, for me, it used to be like, I got to be in every magazine, this, that, and the third. And then, it's about the likes and stuff like that. And I just, some days, I don't care.
And that sounds like peace to me.
Yeah. And I'm in a chapter of my life now that I protect my peace at all costs. I really do. And if that means turning off, I do.
Brandy Norwood said something similar like that to me. She says, you just get to a point where you realize you don't really have to prove anything to anyone.
Yeah.
And it doesn't
As
mean that
long
you
as
don't
you
love
like
what you do.
you, that's going to always be the best start, baby.
What has been your favorite era of you?
Well, one of my best eras was when I put out 5 blockbusters back to back. Yeah. I always hear the thing of, well, what has she done? Or what is she doing? And I'm like, babe, I got a vault. I don't have receipts. I have a vault you can walk into, literally. And that to me was like the best era from Soul Food, Independence Day, Set It Off, Why the Fools Fall in Love, Kill Bill. I mean, it was like a decade of dominance.
What was the best set?
What was the best set?
The best set, the one you had the most fun on.
I've done 237 films, baby.
Out of those, I'll break it down to those ones you just named. The best set out of those.
Set It Off.
Girl.
I commend my director, F. Gary Gray.
Oh,
It was one of the most professional,
wow,
life-changing experiences I've ever had. And the fact that I got to do it with women and an amazing director, that he said, we are going to make a classic. And we did.
And it's one of those ones that everybody secretly would like to retouch. Like everybody would like, or at least copy. You know what I mean? Because it's so, it really changed the game. You know what I mean? Impacted culture. It is pop culture. And I'm telling you, everybody always, what's the procedure when you got a gun to your head? Girl, that was so freaking Frankie. That character.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I know I've kept you long, and I would even love to keep you longer, but I definitely gotta let you go. However,
okay,
I always like to play a little game with my guests. Would you be down to play?
Sure. Girl, I done loosened up my shirt. I'm comfortable now. Chilling.
We're doing comfortable. Now you got me saying comfortable. We're doing one today called What's in My DMs. Okay, the listeners have submitted voicemails and emails telling us about a problem that they're facing, and we are going to give our sage advice. How does that sound?
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Hi, I need some life advice. I'm currently working at a job that doesn't feed my soul the way acting and the arts do, but there aren't many creative opportunities in my area. I really need to get the hell out of here, but the job pays well and I got bills like everyone else. What should I do? I know I'm never stuck, but I told myself I would only leave if I found better.
So what do you do? What are you doing, like, on your time off on the weekends? Are you looking for other aspects of work, like maybe doing theater, going and being, learning what's going on behind the sets? What this person to me sounds like is that they think stardom is going to be the only thing that's going to make them. No, really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They think, "Woo, child, that part is just gonna come get me."
Yeah, because it's like, there's two things I hear in this. I do pick up what you're saying with the whole, like, I would only leave if I found better. Like, what is better in that person's mind? But the other thing I think is, like, the real issue, it sounds like here, is that you hate your job. Like, you don't like the job you're doing. Yep. So it's like, aside from, yes, you can do simultaneous things, right? You can do arts and crafts or whatever your interests are on the weekends, like you said, but it's never gonna be, you're never gonna be okay if you actually really truly do not like your current job. Find a job that you can at least, like, enjoy a little bit. Yeah, okay. I think. Yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I think that's the worst thing in life, is like being stuck in a job and then you're stuck there for years and you hate it.
Yes. Okay, here's the next one. Am I crazy or is he crazy? Okay, listen. I really don't want to be the crazy girlfriend type. That already sounds crazy. Anyway, so I need your advice. My boyfriend of 3 years is best friends with his single female coworker. They go out to happy hour every Thursday together. It usually starts as the whole team. But I heard from a friend who knows one of his coworkers that it usually ends up being the two of them who are the last ones there. He always comes home after and tells me how funny she is and that the three of us should hang out. There are no signs that they've ever been physical with each other, but I still feel threatened by her. I don't want to bring it up because I don't want him to feel like I don't trust him. He has never cheated on me or any past girlfriends to my knowledge. What happens if this conversation fractures our trust in each other? What would you do?
Well, first of all, the three of us would have to go out real soon. Let's start there. Yes, ma'am. Because that whole, we should go out and y'all haven't went out. No, for real. Because if there was nothing
that is for real. That is for real.
Are you kidding me? How come you ain't invited us since we would all get along so good every Thursday? Okay?
Literally.
Every Thursday.
And I feel as if he's playing on the fact that she's uncomfortable and not really secure enough, or feeling like it would be a knock against her esteem if she says what they both know she's feeling. So the whole "we should go out" is on the basis of knowing that she actually won't want to. And maybe I'm looking too much into it, but that's what I think. And then also on the other side of that, girl, I would tell him, I'll be honest, I love that you like this girl, and I love that y'all hang out. But every relationship starts with a friendship, Pookie Butt. So if you and her are friends like that, I mean, you're telling me that there's no interest there. I don't know if I can get with that. And then, for me, it's a little too close for comfort. I don't know if I'm comfortable with the dynamic of y'all relationship. And if that's too much for you, I understand. But it's, for me, not comfortable. And if he doesn't understand that, then girl, it's like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like. What? You got to be honest, in my mind, with people about what your lines are. You know what I mean? Even if it's like every time you wear that green jacket, it makes me itch for some reason. I mean, it may not be okay. That's crazy.
But I'm over here scratching.
I didn't even realize you had. I didn't even think in my mind about the green that you're actually wearing. Girl, that is hilarious. But you know what I'm saying?
Yellow.
Oh.
Yeah.
It looks neon. It's like neon.
Yeah, it is a neon yellow.
She said,
and my nails are matching too. Period. But anyway, I want to ask her what friends, does she have friends like that?
Exactly.
Is he comfortable with that if the shoe was on the other foot?
And he wouldn't. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is the last one.
Okay.
Hi, I'm a 29-year-old woman trying to find my career path. I am struggling with how to find my passion. I was a restaurant manager for 10 years and recently made a change to the veterinarian field to try something new because I do love animals. However, I'm starting from the bottom and I'm just not feeling as intrigued and excited about the field as I'd like. I know you knew from an early age what you wanted to be, an entertainer. Maybe you can give me an idea of how you knew to go full on into your career. I want to be stable and elevate myself in whatever job I'm in, but I would like to be challenged and excited. When I listen to you, Keke, you make me want to interview people. Thanks, and love listening to you. I don't want to hate my job. This person's funny. Whoever this
she
is
needs a
funny.
Vision board.
Yeah, I like
because
that.
She's a little bit all over the place. Because we done went from a restaurant manager to a veterinarian to now she want to interview people. And you 30 almost.
Yo, that cackled me. In the words of TikTok, she may just be ADHD. We all have a little of that in us, don't we? Just bouncing around. Yeah, I do love this vision board gag. I think that's a great start. But also, I need people to stop feeling like passion is something that comes to you easily. Yes, some people find out early on. Some people stumble into it. It's one of those things where I think it has to do with life experiences. So I feel like most importantly, girl, do what you need to do. I love that you're doing the things you like and that you enjoy. I love that, right? Whether it was the restaurant job for 10 years or it was the veterinary job that you're doing now. I love this get up and go thing that you have going on where you're not afraid to try something. So I would say lean into that and maybe stop putting so much pressure on yourself because it's not necessary. Go ahead, Vin.
And I just want to, in closing, just say, we make things look easy because we've been doing it for 3 decades, literally.
Yes.
So when you do your vision board, make sure things that you want to try, that you understand the work that goes behind.
I think that is what you just said also, because I do think this. People a lot of times thinks passion means just fun all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I think, is a big issue when you, like what you just said, we make what we do look easy. I've been passionate about entertainment all my life. You've been passionate about entertainment all your life. You know how many times I've cried over this business?
Okay.
You know what I mean? You know how many things we've had to sacrifice for this business? And that doesn't mean that I regret it or I wouldn't do it, but just like anything, we love our mamas, we love our daddies, we love our sisters and brothers, but don't they get on our nerves sometimes?
Oh, Lord Jesus. Everybody be feeling like we made it. And you like, no, I did the work. I'm sorry, but okay.
So I do think that there's an idea, to your point, that passion means love it all the time. And that actually stops a lot of people from leaning into things that actually are their passion.
And also, I just want people to get educated too. And when I say educated, I don't mean school necessarily, but if you want to try something with it, there's nothing wrong, because people can make it at all different times of their career. Like we've heard of actors in the later part of their careers, all of a sudden they're hugely popular, like the one gentleman from Abbott Elementary that just won, one of his first award at 70.
Yep.
But do the work. Mm-hmm. So that you don't show up and set yourself up for disappointment.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree with you more, and I really enjoyed having you. I mean, it just brings me back to those first conversations I had when I first met you, and I got so much wisdom, but also I got a good girlfriend gag time. So you're just everything. I love you, and continue to just be fabulous and paving the way for all of us as the legend that you are.
And wait, I want you to get that baby a kiss for me, because I ain't got to see him yet. And tell your daddy he was sharper than the tack at the NAACP Image Awards, okay?
And he's going to be so happy to hear that, because he's also one of your biggest fans, girl. Oh my gosh. I'm about to call him and tell him that right now.
Yeah, tell him I gave him a special shout out. That Sue was everything.
Yes. I love that.
Yeah. Stay blessed, my sister.
You too.
I'm very proud of you.
Oh, thank you. I love you
so
much.
You made me so proud. And girl, in that Met dress was everything, child. And you balance that cone up there. Yeah.
Okay. Vivica has done it all, hasn't she? I feel like I have such a better sense of how she's been able to accomplish all that stuff over the course of time. I mean, her work ethic is unmatched, and I really can relate to her approach to work as well. And I feel like we even learned some new tips, It's a good episode when you laugh and you learn. I know we'll do that again next week because, it's your girl.
Baby, this is Keke